Hello students, as we are continuing with the chapter immunity, in the last class we have studied about the type of immunity components. Now, as we are doing the acquired immunity, as we have completed it, now today we are going to study the types of acquired immunity. As we broadly classify the type acquired immunity, first type is active immunity. Active immunity is the immunity which a person's own cell produces antibody in response to infection, that is when pathogen invade the body, or vaccination. It is a slow and takes time in the formation of antibodies. We further divide active immunity broadly in two types, that which is natural active immunity, and the next is passive active immunity. The natural active immunity is the immunity, suppose when a person has recovered from attack of smallpox or measles or mumps. So this type of immunity, which a person acquired by its own defenses system, is known as natural active immunity. When a pathogen invades its body, so the immune response, the immunity of the body cell, is known as natural active immunity. While the active passive immunity is the immunity which give resistance induced by, it is not a body defense, it is a resistance induced by the vaccine. For example, we discussed the bacteria vaccine. There are two bacterial vaccines. For example, in bacteria vaccine, BCG, which is effective against the tuberculosis. Next, we can discuss killed vaccine. Again, the TAB vaccine for enteric fever. Next is viral vaccine. In viral vaccine, there are two: live vaccine and attenuated vaccine. Live vaccine, which is also known as attenuated vaccine. Now next is killed vaccine. Attenuated vaccine, the best example is Sabin vaccine for polio, MMR vaccine for measles, mumps and rubella. While in killed vaccine, there is Salk vaccine, again for polio. This is about the artificial active immunity, which is developed by passive active immunity, which is developed by the vaccine. Now next we'll discuss is the passive immunity. And the passive immunity is the immunity or ready-made antibody is injected directly into person body to protect against foreign antigen. So this is a passive immunity. It provides a immediate relief as they are given artificially, but they are not long lasting. Again, they are like active immunity. They are further divided into two parts, which are natural passive immunity and next is artificial passive immunity. Natural active immunity is gain resistance passively transferred from mother to fetus through placenta. IgG, immunoglobulin G antibodies can cross placenta barrier to reach the fetus. This is IgG is only antibody which can cross the placenta in the earliest stages and defends the fetus from foreign antigens or what. Next important is human cholesterol. Human cholesterol, which is the mother's first milk. Mother's first milk. This is rich in IgA antibodies, which provide a defense to the fetus, the infant, by the age of 3 months. This is about the natural passive immunity, which is passively transferred from mothers to the fetus. Next, we discuss is artificial passive immunity. It is the resistance passively transferred to the recipient by administration of antibodies. Next, the best example against this is ATS. ATS is anti-tetanus serum. Anti-tetanus serum, which are used for passive administration or the passive immunization against tetanus. This ATS is prepared in horse by active immunization of horse with tetanus toxoid. Then it is separated within the serum, which are passively immunized against the tetanus. This is all about the artificial passive immunity. Now, in the next topic, we are going to study about immune response. Immune response. Immune response is of two types. First immune response is known as primary immune response. Second is known as secondary immune response. Primary immune response is developed by the initial contact with an antigen when no antibodies are present. Then a slow rise in the antibody occurs. First IgM antibody and then IgG antibodies will form in the primary immune response. This is called as primary immune response. When we discuss the secondary immune response, here the primary cells which are responsible are memory cell. Memory cell remains in the body for a long time. When every new encounter same antigen occur, this results in rapid proliferation of memory cells. This is called as, such a type of response is known as booster response. Secondary response is more intense. It is more intense than the primary, while this is the slow response. As the antigen invade first time, the slow response is a more intense response. Nextly, the antibodies present here in case of antibody produced in secondary response have high affinity for antigen. This is all about the primary and secondary response. Now, by the flow chart or the small diagram, starting from here, this is 0. Suppose you have 14 days, 28, 42, 56. These are the number of days. Here the antibody titer. If we see the graph, then this will show. So this is second. First response to the antigen. As the antigen enter the body, it will gradually increase. Then when it come to the next encounter, so this is a first exposure to antigen. When the antigen comes to the first line, and this is a second exposure to antigen. Second will be like this. And the second response is quite high, and the antibody production is gradually increased because the antibody here will proliferate more. This is IgG and this is for IgM. In the first response to antigen, as we have seen, the IgM will come first and later the IgG will come. But the same antigen is exposed to the second time. In the second exposure, the IgG will become more prominent and proliferate fast and give the secondary response than the IgM. So we can conclude that in the first response, the IgM is more effective, while in case of second response, the IgG will proliferate fast and give its response. Up to here, by the 28th day, this is a primary immune response, while this is secondary immune. Next, this is all about the primary and secondary immune response. Next is line of defense. Line of defense. As we have discussed this in earlier only, and when we are discussing about the innate ability, again the barriers one. So there are 3 lines of defense in the body. First one is first line of defense, which comprises of physical barrier and physiological barrier. The second line of defense comprises of cellular barrier and cytokinin barrier. Third line of defense. Third line of defense comprises of acquired, also called as adaptive immunity, which we have already discussed within detail in the last class. This is all about the immune lines of defense. Thank you.